Okay, we have a brand new episode of Question Time with a really epic lineup. Okay, Zia Yusuf and Zack Polanski are on this one. Going to be a total shit show, I imagine. Going to be a total shit show. I've just seen on Twitter, apparently there are 2 small boat migrants in the audience that may ask questions at some point, or may give input at some point. So all the reform people are going totally crazy over that, which is pretty funny. Pretty awesome. And yeah, we're going to take a look. We're going to take a look. I'm sure Zack Polanski is going to do an amazing job, as he always does. As he always does. When does Zack Polanski not do a great job? Let's take a look.
Tonight we're in Dover to talk about an issue that's done so much to shape our politics in recent years: immigration. For many, the small boats that arrive on these shores are the most visible sign that the country's lost control of its borders. Tonight we'll be asking, what should Britain's asylum system look like?
You're A-logging me right now.
How do we balance control with compassion? And what does this debate say about who we are as a nation? Welcome to Question Time Immigration Special from Dover. Government and Migration Minister Mike Tapp. He's a Labour MP for Dover and Deal. Amongst a range of new measures, the government wants to review people's refugee status every 2.5 years and deport people when their countries of origin are considered safe. Kieran Mullan is the Conservative Shadow Justice Minister. His party says it would deport all illegal migrants in a week after arrival and leave the European Convention on Human Rights. Daisy Cooper is the Deputy Leader.
Oh yeah, they got the Deputy Lib Dem leader as well. She'll probably do better than Zack Polanski, I think. I think she'll do better.
Democrats. They want to allow asylum seekers to work and plan to set up big processing centres to clear the backlog. Zack Polanski is a leader of the Green Party. He wants to see a world without borders and, until that happens, have what he calls a fair system of immigration where people can move if they wish to do so. Zia Yusuf is Reform UK's head of policy. His party wants to deport hundreds of thousands of illegal immigrants within 5 years of taking office and scrap indefinite leave to remain. Welcome to the programme, to our panel, and welcome to our audience here. And as you know, this is going to be a programme on one topic, a special topic of immigration, and we have come to Dover especially to do that. So as it's a special programme, we're going to do things a little bit differently at the top of the programme. We have a wide range of views in our audience, as we always do every week, and we thought we might start by hearing some of them. So, Peter Owen, let's hear from you. What's your view on the level of immigration at the moment?
Well, you have thousands of these, migrants coming over on the boats, plus others. What I want to know is how does the government find the money to give them what they need when our pensioners and our low paid are going without?
Oh, dude. I'm seeing red. I'm seeing red. I'm doing a fucking just pure rage state. Holy fuck. I can't believe what I just heard. Our pensioners? Our pensioners? How do we find the money? How do we find all this money we're giving the fucking migrants when our pensioners are going hungry? Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Honestly, seriously, fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. I would sooner give thousands, millions to some fucking Afghan rapist for a single other fucking penny of the triple lock, okay? A single other penny to the triple lock. I'm so sick of it. I'm so sick of it. The most coddled fucking losers in society, responsible for so many of the fucking problems, and handed everything. Handed fucking everything. They were handed the easiest fucking life. They didn't go to war. They didn't go to war. It wasn't these guys that were fighting the Nazis. It wasn't them. So they got the all their freedoms fought for. All their freedoms fought for. Came into a country where they got the NHS. They got the NHS and they got everything. A lot of these people were born in what, 60, 50? So they probably already had the NHS before they were even born. So they've got the NHS. They've got huge expansion in the country after the war. Huge expansion, huge amounts of homes being built and shit. So much fucking happening. The whole fucking world at their fingertips. Literally fucking everything. They get everything they could ever want. The whole time they grew up. They contributed. Fuck all. Literally fuck all. In real terms. Compared to what people pay now. They have not paid their way in any fucking way. And they get the triple lock. Literally lock to fucking inflation. Nothing can ever go wrong. They literally never lose any money. Ever. Because, oh, I've worked. They get the fucking triple lock. And they get the fucking winter fuel payment. No matter how much income they're on. No matter how much money they've got, they get the winter fuel payment. They cry about losing that. Or potentially losing that. It's sickening. They are the biggest fucking sponges going. They occupy so much of the welfare spending. It's so crazy. And then they cry about the 2-child benefit cap being lifted. They cry about some, you know, fucking Afghan that's been picking grubs out of the dirt to survive on the journey. Getting a hotel that's ran at the absolute bare fucking minimum. Stripped of any amenities. They get like an art class done by a volunteer once a week. And they're like, wow, I can't believe the government's wasted all this money on these asylum seekers by choice. It's so fucking annoying, man. It is the most insufferable shit in the world. God, dude. This guy, literally, expropriate this guy's assets. Just take this guy's fucking assets. Anything this guy's got, take this guy's home. This guy specifically, for asking his question on question time. Take his home. Take his pension. Take any ISAs he's got. I want all of it taken to the state for complaining like this. For complaining like this, when you have been handed the easiest fucking life of any generation in human history, and you still fucking bitch and whine that literally anyone less privileged than you gets anything. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Okay. Heather McLean, what about you?
We have so many people in this country, we don't actually know who is in the country anymore, and I feel it's not safe. I've got 2 daughters, I don't allow them to go out on their own without knowing where they are, because I just feel every time you turn the TV on, something's happened, and it's always that sort of thing that goes on.
Okay. Nicola Grindley.
I feel very strongly that nobody has a choice whom they're born to, where they're born to, or under what circumstances they're born to. And with legal migration spiralling out of control, I'm concerned about people forget about the humanitarian needs.
Janice Butler?
Should we allow immigrants to work, to pay their way, or help towards pay their way?
Okay, you think that would be a good idea?
I do, but I think it would obviously have to be monitored, because I think that alone in society could make another anti-immigrants.
Okay.
If they're taking their jobs.
Okay. Well, look, that's a range of views here in Dover that we've heard, and I'm sure we'll hear many more, but thank you for that.
I hope this fucking retard in chat, there's a retard in chat says the Zoomer who never worked a day in his life is not talking about me. I left school at 18 and worked full time. What the fuck do you mean, you fucking retard? And then COVID happened. I worked every moment I could through that. And then, I went to uni and I started streaming. What do you mean I've never worked a day in my life? I've done exactly what I'm expected to do as someone of my age. I've done exactly what is expected of me by the state to pay my way at this age, you fucking retard. What do you mean? I pay taxes now. I probably pay, you know, more in taxes than most of these fucking old cunts do right now.
Question, which is from Paul Smith.
You frequently cry, stop the boats, smash the gangs, one in, one out. Nobody's listening anymore. I don't believe you. What are you really going to do? Because whatever has been done so far amounts to nothing.
Right, well, that is something of a cri de coeur from you, Paul, I would say. Mike.
Paul, it's a good question, and I don't know whether I've knocked on your door, but I've knocked on many doors in the constituency. I've had many of my colleagues around the country, and we understand fully the strength of feeling that we need to bring order and control back into the immigration system, and we're taking this seriously, and I, as the Immigration Minister, do too. We've made some progress. We've deported and removed nearly 50,000, and immigration working rates are now up to the highest they've been in British history. But we know we've got to go further, and you would have seen over the last few weeks some of that. So we're making it less attractive for people to come here, easier to deport people, which is really important. We're bringing in counter-terror powers to take on the smuggling gangs. That's just this week. And also we're looking at all solutions, so also those safe and legal routes to ensure that as a compassionate...
Wait, dude, there's no way this is getting claimed. Fuck!
Money for Kuihman since he's a jobless Zoomeric.
I can get away with watching the YouTube video version they uploaded.
Yeah, have many of my colleagues around the country, and we understand fully the strength of feeling that we need to bring order and control back into the immigration system, and we're taking this seriously, and I, as the Immigration Minister, do too. We've made some progress. We've deported and removed nearly 50,000, and immigration working rates are now up to the highest they've been in British history. But we know we've got to go further, and you would have seen over the last few weeks some of that. So we're making it less attractive for people to come here, easier to deport people, which is...
Isolations make the immigration problem worse. Globalization, democracies, lower immigration, reduce migration. Probably a lot of truth to that. Also, you know, that's not even accounting for all the other policies that make it worse. You know, like, one that's just do insane fucking... I can't think of the word. Non-renewable energy shit, like oil drilling, fracking, all that shit. Producing a fuck ton of emissions that are going to cause a bunch of migration in the long term. Also being along with America and all their fucking insane shit that's going to cause a bunch of migration, has caused refugee crises in the past. It's just like, once you add it all up, it's totally retarded.
Really important.
Yeah, no, I'm just getting hit. I'm getting hit for it. Is it only the YouTube video part that is getting hit? That's so fucking annoying if that's the case. Okay, we might, here's what we do. Give it a minute. I'm still going to manage to do a segment with this, okay? Give it a minute. We'll, let the copyright thing fall off. I'll use the Twitter clips. We'll get the key moments. It'll be fine. 1 minute. Okay. So what's this? So this looks like, this is the small boat migrant. One of them. That they're claiming is a plant. Okay? A plant by the BBC.
To the man in the white shirt. Now, I know you came over on a small boat. Am I right about that?
Yeah.
What's your response to what you're hearing? Because obviously everyone is talking about people like you.
Well, let me say something first. I just want to clear that leaving the convention doesn't just affect the migrants. It would give ordinary people one less court, to protect their rights, even for weekend checks and the government power, risk on peace.
I can't even. I literally don't know what he's saying. I think I figured out why he's looking at his phone. I don't think this requires much of a conspiracy, does it?
I just want to clear that leaving the convention doesn't just affect the migrants. It would give ordinary people one less court, to protect their rights, even for weekend checks and the government power, risk on peace settlement in Northern Ireland, and damage our security cooperation.
Let me ask you about your situation. I mean, since we were talking about immigration in this program.
Okay, is he saying the ECHL is important because it's one extra court to protect your rights? I think that's what he's saying, right?
Today, we thought, and we would be talking about people like you, we would see if there were, 2 or 3, 4 people who wanted to come along who are in that situation, and I know you are. So you, because I talked to you beforehand, you came from Iran. I just wonder what you think of this idea, because one thing that the government is talking about is if, and a number of parties are, if the countries are safe, they become safe once you have left them, in your case, Iran.
Okay.
Would you be then happy to go back?
Well, there's 2 points which we need to take care about them. First of all, okay, physically, if Iran is safe, the regime change, there is a regime change in Iran, okay, that's safe for people like me to go back to Iran. But the second thing which we need to take care about it is, for example, for me, I have a 4-month-old daughter, so she born here, and she's growing up here. She will growing up here, learning English, learning how to read and write English, and she won't know how to read and write Farsi or even speak Farsi.
So you would.
So what? He's saying that he's got a 6-month-old daughter, doesn't want to basically have her sent back to Iran. I mean, I think that's fairly reasonable. But what's the... No, we don't have birthright citizenship. No. I wonder, where do I come down on that? Should you be deported with your kid if you have a kid while you're in the UK? That's what he's saying, right? Is that you had his daughter while he was here? 6 months, that ninja don't read or write? Yeah, sure, but still already kind of growing up around the English language. Won't be deported for, you know, let's say they got deported. It won't be for a while yet. It should probably be at least one by the time they're deported. And do you really want, is it really like, is it the sort, do you want to live in a country that sends, you know, 1-year-old girls born in this country to Iran to grow up in Iran? Says, no, you can't grow up here. You should grow up as a woman in Iran, actually. Are women not oppressed enough in Iran for us to be like, okay, that's probably a bit crazy. The second you set that precedent, it'll be exploited, except that's not the case. It just doesn't show that. So, that's just like retarded. That's you being a fucking queer. Don't even bother if you're not going to be able to substantiate it with anything.
Wouldn't want to go back with your family?
Yeah, even after, let's say, after 5 years, a government which... a government from Mr. Zia reform, which came originally from a migrant family, came tell me to go back to your country. What will happen to my daughter? Do you think this is
I'll happily answer that question. My parents came here legally. They did not come here illegally. And look, there's a clear dividing line in British politics. If you're watching this at home and you want to vote for a party that will prioritise the interests of foreign nationals who came here illegally, or do you want to vote for a party that are going to prioritise British citizens who work hard, set their alarm clocks in the evening before going to bed, and toil to pay tax money?
That is not the dividing line. That is not the dividing line in British politics right now.
Do you know how much money the British taxpayer had to pay?
There are other choices available.
Do you know how much money the British taxpayers had to pay for universal credit payments alone for foreign nationals last year? That was £10 billion. Do
you know how much an asylum seeker gets?
For foreign nationals. For foreign nationals. We're not just talking about asylum seekers there. Are we, you fucking idiot? Like, dude, the fucking sleight of hand games are so annoying, dude. The total we're talking about asylum seekers, people arriving on small boats. And he says the total welfare spending for universal credit on all foreign nationals, anyone who was born somewhere else. It's crazy. It's fucking crazy.
Oh, hang on, if you're talking about no one can hear.
£49 a week. £49 a week. This is what this man wants to take off you.
British taxpayers will be spending half the forecast defence budget on universal credit alone for foreign nationals. There's nothing about that that's remotely acceptable. And I'm sorry, we will stick up for British citizens who paid their taxes.
2017.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, the claims of this guy being a plant are totally retarded to me immediately, because why would you not pick a better plant who can actually deliver their point? Okay, what's Zia Yusuf supposed about this? I'll see this.
Men in the audience who came over on small boats and are former asylum seekers. So since you mentioned that, let's hear from one of them. So, Ashraf, where are you sitting? Ashraf, there you are. Can you just, so you came over from Afghanistan on a small boat in the last 4 or 5 years, I think.
Yes, I come from Afghanistan.
So was the UK where you wanted to claim asylum, or did you try and claim asylum?
The reality is, firstly, that asylum seekers don't actually make up that many people. There aren't that many asylum seekers who came over on small boats and shit like that are actually there. Massive, there's way more, by huge orders of magnitude, more legal immigration. So when you say foreign nationals, you were taking this massive, massive broad range of people, taking the total benefits bill for that massive, massive group of people and applying it to a tiny, tiny percentage and saying, oh, you're saying that asylum seekers aren't that big of a deal? Yeah, we spend 10 billion on foreign nationals. That's obviously dishonest. That's obviously dishonest.
Asylum in other countries on the way?
I applied for asylum. I was a refugee and I passed many interviews in different countries.
So tell us which country did you try to claim asylum in?
My first interview was in Turkey, and the second one in Macedonia, in Serbia, in Romania, Austria, and recently in Germany, but that ain't in here.
So you applied for asylum in all those countries, what, and they all turned you down?
These countries just reject me, and they didn't accept me.
So what do you say to the woman here who says, why is it the men that are coming, and what about their families? Why did you come on your own, and what about the fact that so many men are coming?
Thirsty, you are literally next level fucking dirt stupid, dude. I'm going to ban you because you are desperately looking for attention tonight. You literally are not providing anything worth shit to the conversation right now. So you say, okay, but it's expensive to undue strain on the social and welfare trust funds. So you accept that the presentation was dishonest. So that's a complete fucking lie to reply to the cost of asylum seekers by saying there is a 10 billion universal credit bill for foreign nationals. That is tantamount to lying, because you are taking a massive, massive group of people, applying the cost for that massive group of people to a tiny group of people when they actually don't take up that much of it, even if you think they're disproportionate. Even if you think it's disproportionate, because it's nowhere near that. So, now, next fucking retarded comment you're making that you know the fucking answer to, but you're just desperate for attention right now for some fucking reason. I guess you're, you know, bored or drunk, or your wife's not paying any attention, or whatever the fuck. Okay, it's still expensive and leads to undue strain on the social welfare and trust funds. Well, Thirsty, the reason why you take refugees is because oftentimes what happens when you have a massive stateless group of people is they join things like ISIS and then cause massive problems for the whole fucking world. So, as part of your international agreements with other countries and maintaining good relationships with those countries, you've agreed to take on some portion of the burden for this massive group of stateless people that needs to be dispersed. And you'll be spending money on fucking defense, trying to blow them up in a few years if you don't do that, or you'll be dealing with massive humanitarian crises that unsettle, you know, huge fucking groups of countries and lead to more immigration, more asylum seeking, more instability. That's why you do it, Thirsty. But you know that, you should know that, because you're like a 55-year-old man. You're like a 55-year-old man who's not just a 55-year-old man, but has been in this chat for like 2 years. So you already know that answer, so I don't know why the fuck you were coming in here desperately looking for attention like this. It's embarrassing. Thank you.
Everybody knows my country is not safe for us. We have a war, about 15 years we are living in a war. Because of that, just we come here and I just want to leave. And because of that, I come here.
So Zia, when you hear a story like that, for example, do you think that someone like Ashraf, despite the fact he's fleeing a war, and there are many wars around the country, in fact, you know, can't take everybody, they shouldn't be able to come?
Yeah, well, I don't know enough about that particular individual story, so
no,
I'll
sure,
comment
more broadly. But in terms of the principle
I think in terms of broad strokes, let me be clear. If you're entering a war zone, it's generally men first. If you're fleeing a war zone, it's generally women and children first. And the vast majority of the people coming to this country via the English Channel illegally are men. That is a statistical fact. And when people talk about language, I don't know what language people are objecting to. I'm dealing with statistics, I'm dealing with data. And
it's like so retarded. It's like, obviously they come over and try and bring their dependents over because the journey is dangerous.
Sensible way to formulate policy. And I think we should use language clearly. I think we should use language accurately and fearlessly.
Okay, but just to be specific, Zia, because the reform policy is to deport all illegal immigrants in the UK within 5 years. So that would be, I mean, these are real people. That would be someone like you. And that's what you're saying, right? Okay.
If you are in this country illegally, let me be crystal clear. If Nigel Farage is our next Prime Minister, and that's obviously what we're working to deliver, if you're in this country illegally, you will be deported back to the country from which you came. Over 170,000 people have arrived in this country illegally since 2018. Most of that work was done by the Tories, sadly, and that is more people than arrived on the beaches of Normandy on D-Day. I have used the word invasion before, and people might object to that term, but the dictionary definition of an invasion is an unwanted incursion into a space of land. And I don't know what to describe it. 170,000 people arriving. By the way, what are the countries from which they are coming? They're coming from Syria, they're coming from Afghanistan, they're coming from Iraq, they are coming from Iran, not countries that have a track record of having Britain's interests at heart. The British state exists to serve the British people.
Wow. Very compelling, Zia. Well, actually, the dictionary says an invasion. Yeah, nice one, nice one. Where's my Twitter page gone? There we go. Where is this full Zack Polanski answer where he says this crazy shit? Right, let's hear a few more of these. Yeah, I do not see that those asylum seekers are plants. I'm not gonna lie, not seeing that.
In this program, my great-grandparents lived in Latvia. They're Jewish, and we fled because of pogroms. We ended up in Ukraine. We fled again, more pogroms. Then in Nazi-occupied Poland, then fled again. And this is what people have done throughout history. They have fled because they've moved because of war or persecution, or they've moved because of people they love or that they want to travel.
And do you think there should be any limits on those numbers? Judging from your manifesto, you don't.
Well, I think we need to be really clear about the numbers. This year, 800,000 people have arrived in this country. 400,000 of them have come to study. 300,000 of them have come to work and are a net contribution to our tax system.
Yes, but that's answering a different question.
Well,
the question I'm asking you, Zack, is do you believe, because judging from what the Greens say, though quite often you shy away from it, saying it in public, but what is written down is that you believe in a world without borders, therefore anyone who wants to come should be able to come. Is that correct?
So what's important to know is that when we talk about those numbers, we're talking about a policy for a sustainable society.
You haven't actually answered that.
I'm answering you right now. This is about what it looks like in the future. Yes, in an ideal world, that is the policy I would want. I recognise, though, we are not in an ideal world. We're in a world where the world is in turmoil. We know that we have huge issues in our country. But the issues with the National Health Service, the issues with the lack of council homes, the issues with the society feeling broken are not the issues of migrants or someone...
Zack Polanski's going to be next Prime Minister. You were saying it was going to be Nigel Farage last week, so I don't really take your predictions as much weight, I'm going to be real.
Who is clinging to a small boat. They are the issues of 14 years of Conservative austerity, continued by a Labour government who say this is an island of strangers, but actually, you're a government of cowards because you won't tell people the truth about migration. And the truth about migration, it is a positive thing for this country. We need migration. We need fair and managed migration.
They do say
and that's what...
They do say that. That is literally what they say, you fucking idiot. They literally do say that. What do you mean? When has a Labour MP ever said immigration is a net negative for this country? When has a Labour MP ever said we don't need immigration, we should stop all immigration? When has a Labour MP ever said immigration harms the economy? It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen, does it, Zack? You're seeing fucking ghosts. You're seeing ghosts. Yes, if you snipe one line and go, island of strangers, island of strangers. But what Keir said is, if we don't have a fair immigration system that ensures that everyone gets along, we risk becoming an island of strangers. He didn't say, if you're letting a bunch of brown people, it turns into an island of strangers. He was talking about the breakdown of trust between people. But hey, I understand lefties don't like listening or reading or thinking.
We'll change this conversation.
Woman there.
Where is this full Zack Polanski answer where he says this crazy shit, man? Maybe I can find it in the bug upload and just watch that bit. Yeah. So somewhere around here. So Zack Polanski says some crazy shit, okay?
People who are living here fill those jobs, and that's what I think would benefit everybody.
I will in a minute. Hang on a second.
You're burning the people out. They cannot work 12 hours every single day. That's why they come from somewhere else.
We hear what you're saying. Zach, do you want to answer this?
Yes, it's been said a few times tonight about open borders, despite the fact that I've contradicted that and said that I want to talk about fair and managed migration. And the reason why I want to do that...
Well, hang on, it's because open borders is part of your policy.
Hold on, it's not in the manifesto.
Have you read it?
Zach, it is on the as we speak.
Have you read your manifesto?
Have you noticed how rattled they all are by...
Dude, there's no way. What's the answer on this? He's literally drawing them rattled. Oh my god, I can't believe it, man. Someone needs to make this like this got to be a soy jack. This has got to be a soy jack. They're rattled. They're rattled. They're rattled. Dude. Is open borders in the current Green Party manifesto? This seems to be a soy jack. You're 30, bro. I'm not 30. I'm not 30. I'm not 30. I wish I was 30. I want to get into pension before the triple lock's taken. Okay. Quick, I want to get to OAP. I want to make the most of it before everything gets taken away for my entire generation. Okay. Okay. So there's a distinction being made here. I see. So it is not technically in the Green Party manifesto that they will have open borders. It's not in their manifesto. It's in their long-term policy strategy, a long-term policy booklet. It's not in the manifesto. The manifesto is specific electoral commitments. They have a long-term policy strategy where they say they're committed to the free movement of people.
The Green Party, because actually what I'm talking about is something very pragmatic.
So they are ideologically open
borders. Your manifesto.
Am I going to be allowed to talk?
Just ask the question.
We have an ageing population.
Well, he hasn't.
We've had a declining birth rate, the lowest birth rate for the last 3 years. And ultimately, we have pensions to pay. So we've got people coming over here who, on average, as a migrant worker, are contributing £78,000 over the time, then going back to their home country and not taking out of our system. So they are
okay. This is okay.
Benefit. Most people in this audience and watching this at home will have had an experience of a care worker. 1 in 5 care workers are foreign nationals. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't particularly want to wipe someone's bum. And I'm very grateful for the people who do this work.
See, this has gone down terribly. This has gone down terribly, this response. Because he said, he was like, oh, just bring all the immigrants over to wipe your grandma's ass for you. Below me. It's below me. So, Zack Polanski getting totally... So, this went terribly. This answer is going terribly. So, he said, immigrants are here to wipe your grandma's ass. They're here to come and wipe your grandma's ass. That's all they're here for. I don't want to be doing that shit. I don't want to be getting a fucking care job. That shit's below me. It's not gone down well. It has not really gone down well. Probably not the way to frame it. Kind of true. A little bit of truth to it. A little bit of truth in that. You know, it is true that British workers from, you know, more stable countries with better living standards don't want to lower themselves to do jobs that they see as below them. And so immigrants do fill that gap because people don't want to do those jobs broadly. People aren't interested in that, especially not for the wages that they often give. That's often very, very unappealing. So a little bit of truth in it. A little bit of truth to it. Probably not the way to frame it, though. Really not a very... It's quite demeaning to the immigrants. It doesn't really land well with anyone else. It doesn't really land well at all. So yeah, not a great move. Let's see how it goes though.
About you, but I don't particularly want to wipe someone's bum. And I'm very grateful for the people who do this work, this really important work, whether it's in the care sector, whether it's in the NHS. Now, I met with the leadership of the BMA recently, the British Medical Association. It's not true that 50% of doctors can't get jobs. That's after 1 month. Now, that's okay, not okay. We need to work on it. But it's not the problem of migrants. We need to listen to people. And next week, I'm going to be going to Calais because I actually want to listen to the people who are having these experiences, both in terms...
Yeah, I'm going to go and speak to the migrants. That's awesome. Okay, Zach, do some videos you speaking to the Calais boat migrants.
In terms of the boats that we're talking about, and not to go back to it too much, but the reason why people don't stop in France is a safe country, but the UK is also a safe country. And we can't expect every single migrant to stay in France. And largely, they have people from the Congo and from the Ivory Coast because of colonization. And so if people speak English, that's why they want to come to England.
But Zach, why should we take anyone that doesn't make
Kieran, I'm just putting you down.
Why should we take anybody that is a net drain? You're using average figures. Amongst that, there'll be some people that make a contribution and some people that absolutely do not. If you come here on a low-paid job and bring your grandparents, who then use the social care, why should the British public pay for that?
What's fascinating in this debate is we are not talking about...
Well, I mean, it's fine to have restrictions on immigration, but it's just like, are you going to just like uproot someone's life because they stop being... Okay. We're back. We're back. We're back. We're back. Yeah, okay, well, that's the end of the question time segment, guys. I think that's all the question time for tonight.